You ever notice that Jesus was at peace before he calmed the storm, not after? I don't mean just at peace. I mean literally sound asleep. So asleep that a storm that caused trained, lifelong fishermen to believe that the boat was about to completely come apart. That's how intense this storm was. It was so intense that men who literally spent their entire lives on the water feared for their lives, that level of intensity, and Jesus was asleep. So I was out for my walk, talking with the Lord, and just expressing that, I'm kind of feeling uneasy about some situations that we're getting ready to have to deal with. And I asked the Lord, why am I feeling uneasy about this? We've been through so much over the last, 20 years really, but the last 5 years, maybe even more so. And it was interesting what he said to me. He said it's because you're having to absorb so much change in such a short amount of time. And so you're looking to try and create stability in your situation. And he said the problem is that in order to have a stable situation, you have to be in a stable environment. And the world is not a stable environment. And so as I thought about that, it occurred to me that, we have kind of a delusion of stability that we often live in, especially in like a state like the US where, we don't really have war and problems like that are regularly on our own soil. And so we sort of have this false sense of stability in the world that, the world is a stable environment from which to operate. But the reality is that the world is constantly changing, whether it be through freak weather events or social change or societal change or economic change. The reality is, whether we're directly feeling that change or experiencing that instability in our immediate circumstances, it's always unstable. We just might not always be directly experiencing the effects of that instability in our situation. And that was when he reminded me of Jesus in the boat during the storm, and he asked me which one came first, the stability in Jesus' internal environment or the stability in his external environment. And see, that's the problem that we all face. We're always looking for peace to come to our external environment first so that we can have peace in our internal environment. But what we don't understand is that it's backwards. The peace begins in our internal environment and expands into and dominates our external environment. And this principle isn't just something that we can kind of extrapolate from this particular story, but it's actually something that Jesus specifically outlines to his disciples whenever he sent them out. He said, when you arrive at a place, if the home deserves it, let your peace rest on that home. But if it doesn't, then let your peace return to you. That means that the peace that Jesus used to calm the storm originated from within. And it's something that we all carry. We carry within us the Holy Spirit, which gives us peace with God. That means that every situation that we enter into, the peace of God is in us and is able to be released into the environment that we walked into. The problem is that frequently we live by sight, what we see first, instead of by faith, which lets us know that the peace of God is already in us, that we already have that peace within, regardless of what's going on in our external situation. The storm can rage at the highest possible level, but our peace is unaffected by what we see by sight because we live by faith, which means that we live by the peace within instead of the disturbance without. But when for a moment, like Peter, walking on the water, we begin to live by sight instead of by faith, we will immediately start to sink into the turmoil of our circumstances. And once that turmoil gets inside, boy, it's like trying to drive a hungry bear out of a tent. That's why it's imperative that we understand that peace does not come from calm circumstances. Peace does not come from stability in our environment. Peace comes from having the Holy Spirit in us and developing the eyes of faith that allow us to see the world through the peace within instead of the turmoil without. Because let me tell you, when that happens, it's not me that needs to fear anymore. It's the storms that come to disturb my peace. Shh.